Welcome to Strictly Business, which is sponsored by the Bellingham Business Association, the BBA, a nonprofit organization that supports local business and gives back to the community. My name is Marjorie Hollman. I'm your host for today. I'm a longtime Bellingham resident, personal historian, freelance writer, and a board member of the BBA. As a personal historian, I help you turn your family tales into written stories in book form that you can be proud to share with your family and friends. I am also the producer of the Bellingham Mendon Veterans Oral History Project, which collects stories from local veterans about their military experiences. We tape interviews right here at the Cable 8 studios, then forward the stories on to the Library of Congress. We really appreciate Cable 8 and their support and others who are supporting this project. Today's guest is Guests Hour Bellingham Town Administrator Denis Fraine and President and CEO of Charles River Bank, Jack Hamilton. The BBA took a break this summer but has an exciting golf tournament coming up in September, and we'll be talking more about the tournament during our show. Welcome, Denis and Jack.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you both for being here with us. Why don't we start by having you tell us a little bit about your background, how you got into your business, and what you will love about it.
Sure. Well, thanks for having us, first of all, and thanks to the BBA for all the great work that they do here in town. I've been the town administrator in Bellingham since the late 1980s. So I've had quite a run, and I'm very fortunate, supported by the residents of the community. I've been a town resident since 1990 myself, so not lifelong, but better than half my life, and brought up a few children here in town, and very proud of that and what they've done. And they're off on their own now, and have a couple grandchildren who are moving into town as well. So we're expanding here. But
that's exciting.
it's a great opportunity. Before coming to Bellingham, I was a captain in the Air Force, and after I graduated from college, I went right into the Air Force and spent about 5 years. And I was a support officer to a base commander, and an Air Force base is very much like a little town. You have schools and police and fire, and I earned my master's degree in public administration and applied for this job while living in Omaha, Nebraska, getting the Sunday Globe out there, and I was lucky enough to get an interview, and the rest, as they say, is history. I've been here ever since, so it's been a great opportunity, and having the ability to meet with and work with so many great people and really make a difference in the lives of the residents we serve, not so much because of what I'm able to do, but because of the support that we have throughout town government. Town government is a big operation, biggest employer in town, and when you live and work in the same community, you hear what's going on, and your ears to the pavement, so to speak, and you know what needs to get done and what needs to happen, and a lot of good things have happened, I know, during my tenure, but it all comes back to the support from the residents and the people we work with. So a little bit about myself and the things that we've been able to do here in town. I think we're going to talk about some of them that are ongoing in a little bit.
Sounds good. And how about you, Jack?
Well, again, thanks for the invitation today, and thanks to the Bellingham Business Association for their support and for everything they do for small business in the community. I've been the president of Charles River Bank for 12 years now. I've been in the banking industry for 37. I took a little different career path than Denis. When I graduated from Boston College with a degree in political science and a minor in fine arts, I went to work repossessing cars for the Bay Banks organization. And I've worked for large and small organizations ever since, and the last 12 obviously running Charles River Bank. You had asked us about what types of training that you need to be to do what we do, and really in the banking world there are technical competencies you have to acquire. You have to be able to read a financial statement. You have to be able to stay up on compliance issues and understand the various issues with regulators and whatever. But being a community banker is really, this is a people business. Both the people we employ and the people we serve. We need to be able to relate to people. We need to be able to understand what their needs are, and then we need to be able to make suggestions as to the appropriate course of action that they take to achieve whatever their objectives are. Small business people in particular in this market are always in search of the right things to do, whether it's succession planning, how to finance the acquisition of a building, what's the proper structure for a balance sheet to Do I go with short-term debt, long-term debt? And that's where banks who understand what their borrowers are doing and what the industries are that they're involved in can go a long way towards making those businesses successful. And as a community bank, we can only be as successful as the communities that we serve.
Right.
So our invested interest is in making sure that small business in Medway, Bellingham, Mendon, Milford, Hopedale, all of those communities are as successful as they can be.
Great. Okay, well, thank you. Denis, we wanted to give you part of what you get to do, not really on your job, but you participate, you play golf in the
Absolutely.
in our tournament every
do.
year. You're a very faithful golfer. I know I've seen you at the dinners, so I know you've been there. So what is that? Is that just because you like to play golf or because you're just this great guy?
I think the Business Association, and I go before the Business Association once a year and kind of give a state of the town, talk a little bit about what's going on in the community. But it's such a great group of people that come together, and the goal is to try and make the community a little bit better. And I would not miss that tournament. We always have a selectmen's meeting on the night of that golf tournament. It seems inevitably every year we do it. This year we do. And there'll be a team with myself and 3 members of the Board of Selectmen.
Oh, you mean you meet out on the golf course?
No, I mean we play golf and then we scoot off to the to our selectmen's meeting. And
I see.
we don't get to stick around for the dinner, but we socialize a little bit and then scoot up. But
Okay.
we would not not miss that. It's a lot of fun, and I've been to the event that you have annually where you give out scholarships, and every little bit makes a difference in today's world as far as scholarships go. Those $500,000, $1,500 scholarships, that's book money, that's supplies.
These are $1,500. There's 2 $1,500 scholarships that will be available again for graduating seniors this coming next June.
Right.
So.
And I think you've been doing it for a long time. I don't even want to guess how many years the Business Association has been putting on the golf tournament.
That I don't know.
I've got to think it's at least 10, because I'm going to say that I've played in at least 10 of them, and it's always a Monday in September. And the 9-hole events are perfect because it's 4 o'clock or 3:30 in the afternoon, so you can go to work and play your 9 holes, and it's a lot of fun. It's a good group of people. And I can't say that we're ever near the top of the pack, but we're always in the hunt somewhere in that tournament. But it's a great time and a good experience.
It sounds like you have fun.
A lot of fun, absolutely. Yeah.
Wonderful. Tell me, when you talk about services that you provide, and I'm going to give you a chance to talk about what the town does in just a minute, Denis, but Jack, your company is sponsoring the golf tournament, is one of the sponsors of the golf tournament.
We're very active in the community. We're a mutual bank. We don't have stockholders, unlike a number of the local banks. So we exist to benefit our customers, our employees, and the communities in which we serve. And small business lending and small business services are one of the biggest focuses that we have. Supporting an organization like the BBA is critical because they're the grassroots small business advocates in the market. They get involved with Denis when it comes to talking about what's coming up with zoning issues, what's happening with the town's bylaws, the things that are going to make business more difficult to conduct in this town, or the things that could be done that are going to make things easier for small businesses to succeed. Job growth in this country comes on the back of small business expansion. So as we look at what are the best things for the communities we serve, getting involved with the BBA, getting involved with the Medway Business Council, getting involved with the Milford Area Chamber of Commerce is a natural partnership for us to help promote business in the community, create jobs, create wealth, and aid commerce in the area. Services that we provide, they're the same services that any bank in the area can offer. We think we do it a little bit better. We have a different approach to it. We're not, you'll never come into our bank and have somebody meet you with a clipboard and beat you over the head with a product special that we're offering this week. We are strictly a consultative sales organization. Our people get to know our customers, get to know their families, and as they progress through life, we make suggestions as to what the appropriate steps they should be considering to achieve their long-term goals, whether it's succession planning in a business. So many small businesses today, the owners are too busy focusing on the day-to-day management of their business to look down the road and develop an exit strategy. how do I pass my business to the next generation? How do I prepare it for sale? If I've got a partner, how do I protect both myself and my partner in the event that something happens to one of us? And one of the fastest growing aspects of our business is that succession planning for small businesses, protecting the wives of the owners, protecting the children, and making sure that that business asset maintains its value without getting killed by taxes in the event of the demise of the owner, or that it's properly structured so it can be sold, that the owners know what the value of the company is and what their investments are worth in those companies.
Well, good. Well, thank you so much for your support, and it makes a difference.
We try to do our
It makes
best.
a difference.
It's interesting because most of the small businesses, when you look at the small businesses in town, most of the owners live in town.
That's
They
right.
have a vested interest in the community. Their kids are brought up in town.
Right.
And it is true that the small, we often say that the backbone of the community is the small businesses in town. And certainly they're the ones that step to the plate right off the bat whenever there's anything that needs to get done.
Oh, you mentioned earlier that the largest employer in town is the town. Other than that, your employees are all your small business people.
Right.
And Lord knows there's a lot of small businesses here in Bellingham, and that's the reason why we chose to bring a branch down onto Mechanic Street and
I think
open.
there's like 400 listed in the town listing.
Yep.
It's pretty amazing. I'm not sure where they're all tucked, but we'd all like to have them
In the small
participate.
business world, it's amazing how many people operate out of their house,
Right.
out of their garage, out of their basement. And again, that's an aspect of small business finance that we're involved in. We get involved with the very small business that's looking to expand. And I can't tell you how many first-time building purchases we've financed for people who grew a business out of an idea in a garage. And it's really the American dream. And nothing does it better than small business.
And when you go to the ball fields in town, softball fields, the Little League fields, and you look at those signs out in the fencing for all the sponsors,
Okay.
for all the small businesses. They're there, and when we talk about them stepping up, this association, I remember going before the association, I don't know, 5 years ago, talking about we're putting on an outdoor movie night. And we thought, wouldn't it be nice to have something free and under the stars and show a movie once a week? Well, the licensing fee to show the movie, $400, just to show a movie that's already been out, but that's the licensing fee. Then there's the person that comes down and shows the film, $300 for that. So, and that's a real
wow.
break. It used to be $600, but we've got a local guy in town who has a business who
Yeah.
offered to do it, and he's doing it for half the money. So it's about $800 to show that. The BBA stepped up and immediately offered to sponsor one of the nights, and that's what it takes. Is it takes people coming forward and sponsoring those events, because it's difficult to go to the town when you're struggling to make ends meet and talk about free events like that. But
Right.
through the generosity of businesses in town, the BBA, we're able to get those types of things done.
Yep, I agree.
But you got to talk to each other. You got to work together, and you're good at that too. What kind of people and businesses do you serve? I know we've kind of already been talking about this, but I wanted to give you, Dennis, specifically a chance to talk about some of the projects that will affect people, whether it's the police or you listed some of the upcoming things that are possibly going to be.
Well, the largest solely town-funded project ever in the history of the community really was funded at a town meeting ago, $16 million. Actually, I think it's $15.5 million, but who's going to quibble over $500,000, I guess, on a project that size? Is our town-wide water improvements. We're looking at 2 filtration plants, one in the north end of town, one in the south end of town, replacing a lot of water mains throughout town, 100% funded with town funds. And when we build schools, usually the state steps up and picks up about 75%. When we build a high school, $40 million high school project, the state picked up $30 million of that 40. This is 100% community funded. But people recognize when you're talking about something like water, they're willing to step up and make the investment. Because it's one of those things that you really you take for granted, but when you turn the faucet on, if the water's not clean, and not from a health perspective, but we get rusty water in town because we have a lot of old pipes. We have we have some pressure issues in town. These two filtration plants, we've been working on this project for a number of years. We've had an engineering firm that specializes in this field working with us, and we think we're going to solve a lot of the problems that we've had in the community. They're not glaring, probably to 90% of the households in town. To 10% they are glaring, but they do have an effect on all of us. And that project is going to be completed in another year and a half.
Now, does that have anything to do with what's going on Cross Street right now, where the road is blocked? And
No.
Is that sounded like it was?
That's a drainage. That's a drainage improvement that we're working on right now. So
Will
that's
that
strictly
make it so
drainage.
that people won't break their neck when they have to drive down Cross Street in the winter?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yeah, that'll solve that problem once and for all. That's part of a subdivision that's going in behind Silver Lake. Silver Heights, so that's part of that project, but that is a drainage project. So we've got the water project going on. We also have the police station.
Right.
The police station was built in the mid-1960s as a police fire station.
Right.
And of course, times have changed, and town meeting supported raising funds for the design of a new police station in October, and hopefully, in May, and hopefully in October we'll be going back for funding to actually construct it. So the time has come. We're looking at putting it up on Blackstone Street, which is where the high school is, the middle school, the senior center,
Right.
the library, the DPW, fire station. It seems to be the right place to put that. So that's a project that we're moving forward with, and again, we'll be presenting in the fall.
Great. Okay. Let's see. Anything else you want to tell us, Jack, about kinds of people? You've talked a lot about small business. Any other?
Well, as a small bank, we deal with the day-to-day needs of the residents and small businesses in our communities. So we're the bank that makes the first mortgage loan that people get. We take care of their long-term financial planning needs. We offer them liquidity management through various deposit accounts. We can help them pay for their child to go through college. If you want to know the types of businesses we do business with, all you have to do is stop into one of our branches. We feature a different business of the month every month in each of our branches that are all local business people who do business with the bank, and we look at it as an opportunity for us to expose them to all of our other clients and customers, and it's amazing how much business gets transacted as a result of their exposure within our offices and the connections that they make with people in the community. We also host a couple of events every year where we bring in people from the community who are small business people, who are in government, who are in various nonprofit capacities within the area, and we hold networking events for those people. And once again, getting people together to talk, getting people together to understand what the issues are that are facing the economy, facing the finances of the town, facing small businesses, is an opportunity for these people to come up with solutions and work together to make those things happen.
Good. Okay. I gave you a warning on this, so I hope you both are prepared. I always love to hear something surprising that you've encountered in your job. And I hope that you have. I'm wondering if you all could offer us, our viewers, a story of something surprising that they wouldn't expect from a banker's job, from a town administrator's job, that you might be able to share with us.
Well, I don't know so much surprising. When you look at the community today, as compared to where it was 20 years ago, and you look at the personal involvement that residents have, neighbors, friends, you look at the telethons that we have for Toys for Tots. I drove by St. Blaise today, and there was a long line in the parking lot.
This is for the food pantry.
Yeah, I wasn't, it took a second, but then, oh yeah, that's the food pantry.
Yeah.
Those things are, funded, and they're there totally with the support of the community. It's people reaching out, and I know every year we do the Adopt a Family for Thanksgiving, and we do one for Christmas, but that's one day. What about the other days. People are struggling out there when you see that type of resource and the commitment that parish has had in the center of town over the years.
This is St. Blaise you're
St.
talking
Blaise.
about.
I give them a lot of credit. It's a parish that I was a part of at one time, and have kind of haven't been up there as much in the last few years. But what a job they do, and the volunteers that work up there, I give them all the credit in the world for looking out for not just the residents in Bellingham. I mean, I'm sure they're not checking IDs up there, but I'm sure there are a lot of people in town that they reach out to, and it's just one of those things that people do because they care and because they want to, not because of any financial benefit or gain.
So all of the news reports that say that people are just out for themselves, that's not what you're seeing?
Yeah, absolutely not.
And what about you, Jack?
One of the advantages of being a small bank, community-focused, run by local people, is that we do understand what the needs of the people in the communities are, and we have the flexibility to go outside the box when situations arise. We have financed handicapped vans for people who just didn't have the capacity to really own one. Probably one of the nicest things that comes to mind was a number of years ago. We had a very unfortunate situation in Medway where a husband and wife with young children both passed away within a relatively short time of each other, leaving children ranging in age from teens, later teens, down to 5 or 6 year old kids. And a family member was willing to step in to try and help them stay in the house, but the house was in need of some serious repair work in order for it to be marketed and sold, and then the kids could be passed on to the other family members. And a large bank would have no capacity to deal with a request like that, but we were able to go in, expand the mortgage that they already had, do construction lending so that the kids could be all kept together in the house with a guardian overseeing them while the house was prepared for sale. It took probably close to a year to happen. Rates were reduced, closing costs adjusted and whatever, so that we could help these people deal with these kids with their very, very unfortunate situation. And the net result was a good one. The house was sold, the kids are now living with relatives. It's the best of a very bad situation. But it could have been a lot worse if you didn't have a local bank that had the capacity to bend the rules, go outside the box from what a traditional large bank would do, and understand that we're a community, and these are the types of things that you have to do to make your community strong.
That must have been a good feeling to
I could give you dozens of those stories. We donate a lot of time. My people. We only have 46 employees at the bank, and they donate well over 1,000 hours of their personal time every year to local nonprofits and charities. The bank itself donates between $30,000 and $50,000 annually to various nonprofits, and there are organizations out there that put their names on a football stadium. We put our name on the back of your soccer jersey for your kids. And that's really what being a community bank is all about, is supporting the people and the businesses in your town and making them as successful as you can.
Wow. Is there anything else that you that I haven't asked you about that you had in mind to talk about? You were talking maybe about the shops in Bellingham,
I was not talking about the
you
shops
were
in
not.
Bellingham.
You were going to avoid that.
That's a show in and
Were
of
you
itself.
gonna
No.
avoid
Hey, you
that?
know what is happening is the football field that we talk so much about. The town's first turf field. Very exciting. Was passed. Previous town meeting. We have a meeting every Tuesday, a construction update meeting, because everyone's got their eyes on that. We were hoping it'd be done for the first week of September. It looks like the last week of September, but it's on budget and it's going to happen. It's going to be a beautiful.
It's been real fun for Touch a Truck.
It's going to be.
It's been. Well, they did
because they've got all the equipment up there.
Oh yeah, they did a Touch
All
a
right.
Truck event right next to it, but while the trucks at the library were holding still, all these other real trucks were working, and so it was a nice compliment.
You should have
to
invited them up.
Touch a Truck event.
Yeah, but the field, end of September, it's going to be done, and it's going to look great. Everything that we'd hoped for.
Wow. Okay. Well, the last thing would be to let our viewers know the best way they can contact you. If they have further questions for Jack, for Charles River Bank, what's the best way to?
Sure, you can either call me, I answer my own phone, or you can stop at any of our branches, either in Mendon, Bellingham, or Medway. The bank's main phone number is 508-533-8661. Our website is charlesriverbank.com, and if people want to email me, they can email me at the letter Hamilton at charlesriverbank.com.
Great. And what about you, Dennis? Where do we find you?
Stop by the Municipal Center anytime. I think my email address is going to be under right about here right now. So email me. Of course, we all got devices, so we're in tune. Email, 24/7, and they can always call the town hall. If town hall is an easy one to get a hold of, and
Right.
just ask for Dennis. Everyone knows who I am.
They'll
and where
know
to
where
find
you
me.
are.
Absolutely.
All right.
Visit our website, town's website, at any time. Yeah. BellinghamMA.org.
And thank you actually for getting me in touch with the IT person. She is going to be putting the veterans' oral history stories that we're compiling here in town onto the town website. So that's going to be one more thing for people who have Bellingham and Mendon connections as military veterans. We're going to be collecting their stories, and they're going to be not only at the Library of Congress, but also right on the town's website, accessible for people who want to listen to these stories and understand more of people's
A lot of them are
experiences.
riveting. I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah.
Well, with the time remaining, I want to remind our viewers that the BBA Golf Tournament will be on Monday, September 9th. There is a shotgun start at 3:30. And if you're interested in participating and or supporting this worthwhile fundraising event of the BBA, please call Sue Ranieri at 508-380-1643 or email the BBA at contact@bellinghambusinessassociation.org. And in closing, I want to thank Denis Fraine, Bellingham Town Administrator, and Jack Hamilton of Charles River Bank for being my guests today. Please check back in for the next edition of Strictly Business coming in October.
Thanks,
Thank
Marjorie.
you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.